Ideas that stay in your mind lead to things that are like them. The things you think come true. In his show, The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale says that what you think about shapes you. More than 100 years ago, Ralph Waldo Emerson summed up this idea by saying, "A man becomes what he thinks about most of the time." The law of mind is very strong and helps explain many other laws that deal with mind action. There is a third law of success that builds on the law of mind. It is called the law of mental equivalency. According to this law, your most important duty to yourself is to make a mental picture of what you want to experience in every part of your outward life. If you want to be happy, you need to make a mental picture of what happiness means to you. You need to have a clear picture in your mind of what you want in order to be healthy and live a long time, have happy relationships, or be wealthy. These are the first steps that will surely lead you to the realization of your dreams and goals, because of a number of other rules that I'll talk about. The law of correspondence is the fourth law of success. This law is one of the basic laws that explain what it means to be human. It has been talked about for about 4,000 years. It just says, as inside, so outside. It means that your outside life will often reflect your inside life. What's going on in your aware and subconscious minds will often match up very closely with what's going on in the outside world. There are four main places where the law of correspondence is always at work. The first one is just how you feel. A lot of the time, people will show you how they feel by the way they talk to you and treat you, even before you say anything. As inside, so outside. Your connections are the second place where the law of correspondence is clear. The people you date will almost certainly reflect how you act and think. People will be good and happy with you if you're a good and happy person. And just like a mirror, as you become more patient, forgiving and caring, your relationships will show this to you right away. Your health is the third area of correspondence that you see. Your health is affected by the way you think and feel, which can lead to both small and big diseases. There has been a lot of research in the field of natural medicine that suggests there are matching attitudes of mind for most diseases, from the flu and colds to the most serious illnesses that can be life-threatening. If you're worried, angry, or sad for any reason, for any length of time, your body will start to show those emotions. Psychosomatic medicine is based on the idea that your mind, psycho, can make your body sick, soma. What's in your mind will finally show up in your body. In the fourth way that the law of correspondence can be used, your outside world of material success will exactly match your inside world of planning. You will be paid more if you learn new things that help you do your job better. Before you can hope to get or achieve more on the outside, you have to get or achieve it on the inside first. The law of correspondence is the most important one. The law of belief, which says that what you think with your emotions becomes real, is the fifth law of success. You tend to always act in a way that is in line with your deepest views and values. The things you believe about yourself and the world actually block out other information, letting only the things you've already decided are true enter your conscious mind. Some people believe that what you believe becomes real. The Bible also says, "Whatever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." For example, if you really believe that you are meant to be a great success in life and that nothing can stop you from becoming great, you'll act in a way that supports that belief, and it will eventually come true. If you have any doubts about your ability to be effective, they will show in the way you hold yourself back. The most important part of the law of belief is that you have to question the ideas that hold you back. These are the ideas that hold you back from reaching your full potential. These are the fears and doubts that people have about themselves and their skills that make them not believe in themselves fully. When you believe things that hold you back, you often settle for much less than what you may be capable of. Beliefs that hold you back have to do with your ability to do things like lose weight, quit smoking, make a certain amount of money, be beautiful to people of the opposite sex, or learn new skills that will help you be more successful and happy. Putting these self-limiting ideas to the test is one of the most important things you can do to reach your goals. People who know you well might even tell you about any self-limiting ideas they think you have that might be stopping you. Remember that ideas that hold you back are often used as an excuse. A good way to test your ideas that hold you back is to ask yourself if someone else who had the same limitations you do has still been successful. You can also look at what you do to figure out what you really value. Don't forget that what you say, hope, wish, or plan is not what you really believe and value. That's just what you do. Many people, including children, know this and don't listen to their parents when they say, "Do as I say, not as I do." We all seem to know that a person's deeds show what they really believe. There's a lot of misunderstanding and sadness in the world right now because many people think that if they write or say something strongly enough, it means they really believe it. But this is not true. You only really believe what you act on. What you do does speak much louder than what you say. For instance, if you really believe in the values of hard work and determination, it will show in the things you do every day. If you truly believe in the values of honesty, ethics, and self-discipline, you will show these traits in everything you do. In fact, what someone did in the past when things were tough can tell you a lot about what they value. You only know what you value when you have to make a choice. Your real ideals show up when you have to pick between things like family and work, or money and being honest. The great and important thing about your values is that you can make them a permanent part of your character by forcing yourself to act in a way that is consistent with them. I'll talk about this more later in the show. The seventh law of success is the law of motivation. It says that everything you do is caused by your deepest wants, needs, and feelings, many of which may be unconscious. Your main drives, or what you really want and need in life, will determine how you act, and what you think you want should guide your choices. It's very important that you understand that this goes beyond the law of ideals. The ABC method is an easy way to explain why people do the things they do. That's what the ABC stands for: causes, actions, and results. These are the events that take place before the action. That which you do is what you behave. What happens because of your actions is called an effect. Mentally, we know that the things you read, learn, or are told to do or not do only account for about 15% of your drive. That being said, about 85% of your drive comes from what you think will happen. Your views about what will happen and the future are what make you act in a certain way. The more you know about what will happen as a result of your actions, and the more you want to enjoy those outcomes, the more driven you will be. Therefore, it is very important to be very clear about your goals in every area of your life if you want to be inspired to do your best. An important thing to remember about the ABC formula is that your actions and behaviors may not always lead to the results you want, but they will always lead to some kind of result. Realizing that both actions and inactions have results is one of the most important parts of knowing what drives people and how they act. Your future will be affected by both what you do and what you don't do. Sometimes the effects will be big and last a long time. Writing down what kind of person you want to be and what kind of life you want to be living is a good way to improve your chances of success. Knowing how to think and understand things is the most important skill you have. It is important to have a clear picture of who you are, what you want to achieve, and how you can do it. This will help you be more effective and successful. The law of mental action is the eighth law of success, and it can be used in a number of ways. Your subconscious mind will follow whatever thought, idea, or feeling you have in your waking mind. This is the first part of the law. This means that you can have any thought, idea, or goal that you keep in your mind. Your subconscious mind will then order all of your thoughts and actions to make it happen. Think about making a certain amount of money all the time, day and night, and do everything you can to get this desire or hope deep into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will then start to use more and more of its extra resources to help you reach your goal or achieve your desire. When you tell your subconscious mind what to do, the second part of the law of mental behavior says that it will activate your reticular brain and do its job, which is called the reticular activation system. The reticular cortex is a small, finger-shaped part of your brain that tells you about things going on around you that are in line with your main wants or worries. For example, if you decided you really wanted to buy a red sports car, that would tell your reticular cortex that red sports cars are now the most important thing to you. After that, there were red sports cars all over the place. You would become very aware of red racing cars and how to get one even from a block away. Our reticular cortex will make you very aware of all the chances you see around you that could help you make more money if one of your goals is to become financially independent and you really want to reach this goal. Because you set this goal and buried it in your subconscious mind, you would hear and see things everywhere that you might not have noticed at all before. The third part of the law of subconscious behavior says that your subconscious mind controls your body language and tone of voice. It also controls your autonomic nervous system, which includes all of your muscles, nerves, actions, and responses. Professor Moravian of the University of California at Santa Barbara has found that when you talk to someone, your body language and tone of voice make up 55% of the message you send, while the words you use only make up 7%. Because of how you think and feel, your body language and tone of voice are mostly controlled by the messages you've sent to your subconscious mind about yourself and your goals. You send your subconscious mind a charge of mental energy when you've had any kind of success. This tells it that you're a winner. After that, you walk, talk, act, and think like a winner for a while. Body language will show that you believe this about yourself. Your step will be faster, your voice will be louder, your eyes will be more focused, and your voice will be stronger. If you have strong emotional thoughts, your subconscious mind will accept them and order your body, voice, and tone to fit a pattern that matches them. The ninth law of success is that you should always expect the best. You may have heard of it as the law of the self-fulfilling prophecy. Because it is easy to understand and always works the same way, it is one of the most important rules. Simply put, this law says that if you believe something will happen, it will definitely happen. It's not what you want that you get, but what you expect the most. Because of this, having high hopes for yourself seems to be linked to massive success in every area of your life. This law of expectations is great because it gives you the power to make up your own standards. You can choose to believe that only good things will happen to you. You can walk, talk, and act like you think everyone is working together to help you reach your goals. You can change into what people who are like Clement Stone are sometimes called inverse paranoid. They can start to believe that everyone is out to get them. It is said that the law of hopes says you should always look for the good in people and situations. When you have a short-term failure, you can look at it to see what useful lesson it might teach you. You don't have to get angry. Instead, you can tell yourself something like, I believe in the perfect outcome of every situation in my life. This will help you be more open, positive, and hopeful in everything you do. The most strong goals are the ones you have for yourself. You should be cool, sure of yourself, and expect the best in everything you do. This means that you should expect to succeed more often than not, to win more often than lose, and to reach your goals in the end if you keep going. There is a 10th law of success that can be used in many areas of life. It is called the law of focus. It says that things you focus on and think about over and over again with strong feelings tend to become a bigger part of your inner and outer life. As you think about qualities you want to improve, like courage, sincerity, and persistence, you tend to build those qualities into your character and personality piece by piece. This is one of the most important findings in psychology. These two laws, the law of focus and the law of mental activity, help explain a lot about who you are now. Everything you've thought about in the past and everything you're thinking about now has a big effect on how you act and behave. What you focus on has a big impact on the range and quality of the results you achieve and the level of success you experience. The law of habit is the 11th law of success. It says that almost everything you do is natural and without thought. You tend to stick to things you know how to do. It says that from the time you wake up in the morning until you go to bed at night, you tend to take the easiest route and do what you've always done. You brush your teeth with the same toothpaste, eat the same breakfast foods, go to lunch at the same time, and work in the same way every day. Now, there's nothing wrong with making habits that take away unnecessary stress. In fact, you'll know your life is going well when many of the things you used to have to focus on, like driving a car, are done without you even thinking about them. When you do things over and over again without thinking about them, your mind is free to focus on other things that will help you reach your goals. The law of habits says that good habits are hard to make, but easy to keep up. It's easy to get into bad habits, but it's hard to live with them. Bad habits that get in the way of your goals are some of the hardest things to break. Because of this, you should take some time to think about and carefully examine the habits you have. You need to figure out if they are helping you reach your goals or getting in the way. Remember that everything you do either moves you forward or backward. This is one of the most important things you can learn about success. There is no neutrality. Everything is important. A bad habit is one that doesn't help you. Most of the time, a habit that doesn't help you succeed will hurt you. Getting rid of bad habits is as easy as making new, better ones. If your golf swing is making your balls go into the rough, for example, you can change it by taking lessons and learning how to hit the ball differently. Getting up earlier every day can help you break the habit of staying up later than you should. Keep doing this until it becomes the habit that controls your thoughts and actions. When you use the law of concentration along with the law of habit, and keep thinking about how you would be with a new habit or behavior, you send this message to your subconscious mind and start to act in ways that are consistent with the new habits you want to form. Now we come to the 12th law, which is the law of desire. This is one of the most important laws of success. The law of attraction says that you are a living magnet, and that the people, events, and situations that fit with your main thoughts will always come into your life. Therefore, we say that you can have anything you can keep in your mind all the time. Mental energy starts to flow toward you when you think a clear thought mixed with feeling. This energy starts to attract the things you need to reach your goal. More than a few hundred years of writing have been dedicated to this law of attraction. It's in the old proverbs, like attracts like, or like begets like, or you may have heard, birds of a feather flock together. Mark Victor Hansen, one of my friends, says that everything wants you. All of these things mean the same thing. Your mind is very strong, and whatever you think and feel turns into energy that attracts things into your life, like a magnet. When it comes to music, the law of attraction is also known as the law of responsive resonance. For instance, it says that if you walk across the room to the other piano, after hitting the C key on the first piano, the C note or string on the second piano will be quivering in perfect harmony with the C string on the first piano. An easy way to see this law at work is when you walk into a room full of people and almost instantly feel attracted to or sympathetic with someone else there. You'll naturally become drawn to someone you feel comfortable with and get along with, and that person will naturally become drawn to you. When two single people are at a party or event together, they will often feel a connection with each other that makes them want to talk. In the same way, if you have a very clear idea or goal, you will attract people who have ideas, knowledge, or tools that can help you reach that goal. The law of rejection is the opposite of the law of attraction and can be used to show how it works. As you change the way you think, you will start to attract and be rejected by people who don't think the way you do. This law explains why positive people tend to hang out with other positive people and negative people tend to hang out with other negative people. It also explains why neither group is very interested in the other group. Becoming the kind of person in your mind that will draw the kind of people you respect and admire will help you start to fill your life with them. The law of choice is the 13th law of success. It says that you can choose what is in your mind at any time, and by doing so, you also choose everything else in your life. Because only you can think, the ideas you choose to hold are what make your life happen. The great thing about the law of choice is that it says you can think and be anything you really want. You always have a choice. You can think about what you want or not want. This moment, tomorrow, or the past are all things you can think about. You can think about what you cannot do or what you can do. You can think about your strengths and possibilities, or you can think about your weaknesses and what you could do better. Remember that what you choose is what you tend to get. If you think about something a lot, you're more likely to get more of it. This is why it's so important to think about the good things in your life instead of the bad things. The law of attraction starts to bring the things you want into your life when you think about them repeatedly. Most of the time, what you think about makes you who you are. When you think about your fears a lot, you find more things to be afraid of. If you think about what you don't have, more of it will come to you. If you think about being wealthy, you start to bring ideas, resources, and chances into your life that will help you get rich. Remember that you always have the choice to do something else. You can pick what you think. You can pick your own goals. You can pick what you believe and how you act. You can pick to be happy and positive, or you can pick to be sad and negative. You have the power to choose whether to be great or not. You can think about your goals and how to reach them, or you can think about why you shouldn't or can't reach your goals. The decisions you've made over the past few months and years have led to the life you live now. How you live tomorrow will depend on the decisions you make today and in the days and weeks to come. You can choose to live the life you want and be the person you want to be by talking and thinking about the things that will help you get there. These are some of the most important success laws. All the other success laws are built on top of them. Your chances of getting the things you want will go through the roof once you start to think about and follow these rules. Everyone can use these rules to make their life better and reach any goal they set in any area of their life. You just need to learn them and start using them. Remember that what matters is not what happens to you, but how you handle it. And you have the power to make sure you get everything you want in life. You are in charge. Leaders think about what they need to do, what needs to be done to make it happen. Good news. You start to think like a leader when you think about your future too. Soon, you'll get the same results as winners. Imagine that the further into the future you think, the better choices you will make right now to make sure that the future comes true. For example, if you save $100 a month from age 20 to 65 and put that money in a mutual fund that earned an average of 10% per year, you would have more than $118,000 saved when you retired. Before you start making plans for your life, you should also take a long-term look at it. In the idealization process, you make up a dream for the next 5 years and start to think about what your life would be like if it were perfect in every way. Self-limiting ideas get in the way of making goals more than anything else. You might think that you're not smart enough, talented enough, creative enough, the right person for the job, or something else. Either you don't set any goals at all, or you set goals that are way too low for what you can really do. This process of self-limitation can be stopped or neutralized by mixing idealization and future direction. For now, you like to think that you have no limits at all. People think that you have all the time, skills, and powers that you could ever need to reach any goal you set for yourself. No matter where you are in life, he saw men and women who had been average at their jobs for years suddenly become very successful and accomplished. They all started doing what he called blue sky thinking. When you do blue sky thinking, you picture yourself as if nothing is stopping you, like looking up at a clear blue sky. You think about the future a few years away and dream that one day your life will be perfect in every way. Now you look at your present situation and ask yourself, what would have to happen for me to make my ideal future come true? Then, in your mind, you go back to the present and ask, what needs to happen from now on for me to reach all of my goals someday? Idealizing and looking to the future help you don't settle for smaller goals or half-done tasks. You think about yourself as if you are one of the most important people in the world and dream big dreams. You choose what you really want before you return to the present and deal with what you can do with the things you have there. Let's say that 5 years from now, your job was perfect. The first question is, what would it look like? Next, what are you going to do? Third, where do you plan to do it? Fourth, who would you work with if everything at work went smoothly? How much duty would you have? Fifth, what skills and abilities do you think you'd have? Sixth, what kinds of goals do you want to reach? How well known or important would you be in your area if everything at work went perfectly? Think that you have no limits as you answer these questions. Think about what would happen if you could do anything. Imagine that you have a great cash situation sometime in the future. You should first ask yourself how much money you want to make in 5 years. Second, what kind of way of life do you want? What kind of house do you want? Third, what type of car do you want to drive? If everything went smoothly with your money, what kinds of material comforts would you want to give yourself and your family? Fifth, in 5 years, how much do you want to have saved? Sixth, how much do you want to save and spend each month and each year? This can be a number or a ratio. Seventh, when you leave, how much do you want to be worth? Let's say you have a magic pad. Anything goes on paper. Anything that happened in the past can be erased, and you can make any picture you want. Now picture the perfect family life you have. Take a moment to think about your family and ties right now, and then look ahead 5 years. In the first place, describe the ideal family life you would have in 5 years. Second, who do you want to be with? Who or what would you no longer want in your life? Third, tell me about your ideal family life. Where and how would you be living? Fourth, what would your standard of living be? What kind of life would you be living? Which brings us to the fifth question. What kind of ties would you have with the people who are most important to you in 5 years? When you dream about the best possible future, all you can think about is how to get there. People who aren't successful always wonder if they can reach their goals, but people who are good at what they do only ask, how? Next, they work to find ways to make their plans and dreams come true. Also, look at how healthy and fit you are in every area. Think ahead 5 years and ask yourself, what would you look, feel, and be like if you were physically perfect 5 years from now? Second, what weight do you think you should be? Third, how many times a week and every day would you work out? Fourth, how healthy and fit would you say you are overall? Fifth, What changes do you need to make to your food, exercise routine, and other health habits right now so that you can be in great health in the future? Then you think that you are a major player in your community and that you have a lot of power. These questions are meant to make you think about what you would be doing if your social and group life were perfect. Second, what groups would you be adding to or working with? Third, what causes do you care about deeply and work to support? How can you get more active in those areas? Action focus is the main thing that sets high achievers apart from low achievers in all of these areas. Men and women who do amazing things in life are very focused on taking action. They are always busy and moving around. When they have a thought, they act on it right away. On the other hand, people who are low scorers or non-achievers always mean well, but always find a reason not to act today. It's true that people who mean well often end up in hell. You should take a look at your list of skills, information, abilities, education, and talents to find out what you would have learned and improved upon in 5 years. If everything in your life were perfect, imagine that you had reached the best level of development possible for you. There is almost no limit to how much you can improve yourself. Second, what areas of your work would you be known for being truly exceptional? Third, what would you do every day to get better at what you do and become one of the best in your field someday? When you answer these questions, the only thing left to ask is how. How do you get the knowledge and skills you'll need to be the leader in your field in the years to come? Make a clear choice about how you want to live every day, your dream living. Make the calendar you want from January 1st to December 31st. Let me ask you some questions. First, what would you like to do on the weekends and during breaks if you could do anything? Second, how much time off would you like every week, month, and year? Third, where would you want to go if you could go anywhere and didn't have to worry about money? And finally, how would you plan your days if you had no limits and full control over your time? There is nothing better than having clear, interesting goals and ideas that make you happy. You'll have more hope and optimism. You'll be happier and more excited. Every step you take will push you towards something important to you, which will make you want to get up and go every morning. You can be sure that the future will be better than anything that has happened in the past. Being more clear about your long-term goals will help you quickly bring people and situations into your life that will help you reach those goals. Know who you are and what you want more clearly. This will help you get more done and get it done faster in every part of your life. Now, your subconscious mind will accept your main emotional thoughts and set up your body, voice, and tone in a way that fits with them. The 9th law of success is that you should always expect the best. A lot of people call it the law of the self-fulfilling prophecy, because it is easy to understand and always works the same way. It is one of the most important rules. Simply put, this law says that if you believe something will happen, it will definitely happen. You don't get what you want, but you definitely get what you expect. Because of this, having high hopes for yourself seems to be linked to massive success in every area of your life. This law of expectations is great because it gives you the power to make up your own standards. You can choose to believe that only good things will happen to you. You can walk, talk, and act like you think everyone is working together to help you reach your goals. You can change into what people often call Clement Stone, a inverse paranoid. You might start to believe that everyone is working together to help you. It is said that the law of hopes says you should always look for the good in people and situations. When you have a short-term failure, you can look at it to see what useful lesson it might teach you. You don't have to get angry. Instead, you can tell yourself something like, I believe in the perfect outcome of every situation in my life. This will help you be more open, positive, and hopeful in everything you do. The most strong goals are the ones you have for yourself. If you want to do well at everything you do, you should be calm and sure of yourself. In general, you should expect to succeed more often than fail. You should win more often than you lose, and believe that you will reach your goals in the end if you keep going. There is a 10th law of success that can be used in many areas of life. It is called the law of focus. It says that things you focus on and think about over and over again with strong feelings tend to become a bigger part of your inner and outer life. As you think about qualities you want to improve, like courage, sincerity, and persistence, you tend to build those qualities into your character and personality piece by piece. This is one of the most important findings in psychology. These two laws, the law of focus and the law of mental activity, help explain a lot about who you are now. Everything you've thought about in the past and everything you're thinking about now has a big effect on how you act and behave. What you focus on has a big impact on the range and quality of the results you achieve and the level of success you experience. The law of habit is the 11th law of success. It says that almost everything you do is natural and without thought. You tend to stick to things you know how to do, starting from the time you wake up in the morning until the time you go to bed at night. You tend to take the easiest route and do the things you have been doing for a long time. You brush your teeth with the same toothpaste, eat the same breakfast foods, go to lunch at the same time, and work in the same way every day. Now, there's nothing wrong with making habits that take away unnecessary stress. In fact, you'll know your life is going well when many of the things you used to have to focus on, like driving a car, are done without you even thinking about them. When you do things over and over again without thinking about them, your mind is free to focus on other things that will help you reach your goals. The law of habits says that good habits are hard to make, but easy to keep up. It's easy to get into bad habits, but it's hard to live with them. Bad habits that get in the way of your goals are some of the hardest things to break. Because of this, you should take some time to think about and carefully examine the habits you have. You need to figure out if they are helping you reach your goals or getting in the way. Remember that everything you do either moves you forward or backward. This is one of the most important things you can learn about success. There is no neutrality. Everything is important. A bad habit is one that doesn't help you. Most of the time, a habit that doesn't help you succeed will hurt you. Getting rid of bad habits is as easy as making new, better ones. If your golf swing is making your balls go into the rough, for example, you can change it by taking lessons and learning how to hit the ball differently. Getting up earlier every day can help you break the habit of staying up later than you should. Keep doing this until it becomes the habit that controls your thoughts and actions. When you use the law of concentration along with the law of habit and keep thinking about how you would be with a new habit or behavior, you send this message to your subconscious mind and will eventually start to act in a way that is consistent with the new habits you want to form. Now we come to the 12th law, which is the law of desire. This is one of the most important laws of success. The law of attraction says that you are a living magnet and that the people, events, and situations that fit with your main thoughts will always come into your life. Therefore, we say that you can have anything you can keep in your mind all the time. Mental energy starts to flow toward you when you think a clear thought mixed with feeling. This energy starts to attract the things you need to reach your goal. More than a few hundred years of writing have been dedicated to this law of attraction. It's in the old proverbs, like attracts like, or like begets like, or, you may have heard, birds of a feather flock together. Mark Victor Hansen, one of my friends, says that everything wants you. All of these things mean the same thing. Your mind is very strong, and whatever you think and feel turns into energy that pulls things into your life, like a magnet. When it comes to music, the law of attraction is also known as the law of responsive resonance. For instance, it says that if you walk across the room to the other piano after hitting the C key on the first piano, The C note or string on the second piano will be quivering in perfect harmony with the C string on the first piano. An easy way to see this law at work is when you walk into a room full of people and almost instantly feel attracted to or sympathetic with someone else there. People who are comfortable and compatible with you will tend to move toward you, and the other person will tend to move toward you. When two single people are at a party or event together, they will often feel a connection with each other that makes them want to talk. In the same way, if you have a clear goal or idea, you will probably attract people who can help you reach that goal. The law of rejection is the opposite of the law of attraction and can be used to show how it works. As you change the way you think, you will start to attract and be rejected by people who don't think the way you do. This law explains why positive people tend to hang out with other positive people and negative people tend to hang out with other negative people. It also explains why neither group is very interested in the other group. Becoming the kind of person in your mind that will draw the kind of people you respect and admire will help you start to fill your life with them. The law of choice is the 13th law of success. It says that you can choose what is in your mind at any time, and by doing so, you also choose everything else in your life. Because only you can think, the ideas you choose to hold are what make your life happen. The great thing about the law of choice is that it says you can think and be anything you really want. You always have a choice. You are where you are and what you are because you chose to be there, according to the law of choice. You can choose to be and do something else if you're unhappy with where you are and what you are. The 14th law of success is the law of optimism. It simply says that having a good attitude about life leads to success and happiness in almost every area. Being optimistic makes you a happy and friendly person that other people want to be around and help. People who are very successful tend to be liked by a lot of people. At any given time, being optimistic will make you happier and make you more willing to try new things. The 15th law of success, called the law of change, says that things will always be different. Change is the only thing that stays the same in life. Everything is changing, even as you listen to this tape. But the wonderful thing about the law of change is that nothing is fixed either. All growth needs change, and since change is happening in any case, you can be and have and do anything you want by simply embracing the forces of change and taking advantage of them. The law of change also says that your life can only get better when you get better, but not until. It says that you can't stay the same and somehow improve. The law says that if you don't take advantage of change, you will end up being the subject of change. Things will happen over which you have little or no control, and you'll simply have to go along and change your actions and behaviors to whatever happens. Now let me tell you a story that is true in more cases than not. Once upon a time, there was a young man from an average home with an average education, working at an average job, and who had an average group of friends. Like most normal young men, he was mainly interested in girls and sports and television. He liked to have a good time, and he spent most of his money enjoying himself. He looked upon his job as a necessary evil that paid for his average living, and like most average people, he was going nowhere with his life. Then one day, something happened to him. Perhaps he read a book that woke him up, or listened to a radio program, or went a motivating lecture. Whatever it was, he wasn't the same afterward. He realized that he could choose to do and be something else. He applied the law of choice. By the law of change, he understood that his life could only improve if he started changing in a good way. Using the law of cause and effect, he made some choices about what he wanted to accomplish, and then began looking out the causes of the results he desired. By the law of positivity, he was positive toward himself and his prospects. He expected good things to happen, sparking the law of hopes. He went to work on his thought, and he began to dwell, the law of focus, on his ideal lifestyle. By the law of mental action, he began to walk and talk like the person he envisioned himself becoming. He also started noticing chances to improve himself that he hadn't seen before. As he changed his thought, he sparked the law of mind and the law of mental equivalence, and he made a clear picture of his goals. By the law of correlation, his outer world began to mirror his new, better inner world. His views about himself began to change, and by the law of attraction, people and resources began to appear to help him move toward his goal. As he focused on his wants, his beliefs and drives changed, and he started building the kind of habits that lead to success. In no time at all, by bringing his life into balance and agreement with the rules of success, he began going forward at a rate that surprised even him. And so can you. The rules of success are based on the foundation concept that in order for you to achieve, you must first decide what success means to you. You can then begin to apply these rules to your meaning of success to bring it more quickly into your life.